Hello and welcome back to FLV week 2 of season 22. Here we have SSD Gnimag, or however you pronounce that second part of their name, versus Doug. I'm excited for this matchup today. I'm here joined by my good buddy and co-caster Gangi.
Hello.
We already got map bans underway. We got Bind, Haven, and Sunset banned by Doug, and Abyss and Corrode banned by SSD. So we're about to see which map SSD picks.
It's either going to be Ascent or Lotus.
Which honestly, I feel like we've seen a lot of those map picks here in season 22.
Hmm.
Obviously fan favorites, Ascent being just a classic since the inception of the game, and then we have Lotus, which was released midway through the game's lifespan so far, but with those three map sites and all the doors and whatnot and other shenanigans, it's just become a fan favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping to see some more diversity in comps, though.
Yeah, especially with maps like Ascent, it's kind of been the meta's already been figured out, so usually team comps are pretty linear when it comes to sorry, when it comes to what kind of comps you're running. Usually, you see jets and omens and agents like that. So, oh,
Yeah.
and it looks like we are going to be on Ascents,
And now we're just waiting for the defender and attacker side chases.
and it looks like Doug are choosing to attack first.
And SSD will be going to defense. All right. I'm excited to see SSD and Doug because both are very popular teams among the whole Discord server, the whole FLV. I'm really hoping to see some depth gameplay. He's a 7 times champion.
Oh yeah, I actually casted both of these teams in their week 1 games. For those of you who were not keeping up with the SSD game, Depp was actually subbed out for Claws, another prevalent member, another multi champion. But this time, Depp is going to be able to make the week 2 game in combination with Sock, who I believe is subbing in as well. And yeah, it's hopefully just makes for a good matchup.
Looks like most of their team is going to be either it's looks like a very balanced team, to be honest. Both have around high level ascendants and diamonds, and they got it looks like SSD has some bronzes and Doug has a few golds and silvers. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Looking like there's no lineup changes for the side of Doug. Gonna see if DK can replicate his impressive performance along with 12 assists. So, he's able to play around his initiator util, get some picks for his team, but, he's also able to pick up that rifle and get some kills. We're having a bit of a delay here before we get this map started. But in the meantime, Gangi, I know that you've been keeping up with a lot of the games that have been streamed. So, what's been your favorite game of the week so far?
Uh, Honestly, if I have to say, I think one of my favorite ones probably would be the previous DSS game that they had against um I remember it was Daya, right? Yes, against Daya they had a massive 13-6 lead, and honestly, I'm really hoping to see some more of the big slime gameplay from DSS, but I think our game today, this our SSD versus Doug, they are both well renowned, like I said, so I'm hoping to see a lot from them too.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see Depp obviously, but also Sock subbing in again. Um, for I'm not sure who he's subbing in for, but Sock, another prevalent player, he did drop a 30 bomb last week, going 33-15 for the side of SSD. So he's going to be playing a key role here on Ascent, trying to get those opening picks, getting those entries, taking space for his team. I'm not sure if he's going to repick the Neon. He may or may not. We'll see how it goes.
Looks like the last games that Doug and SSD had, they were both on Haven. So I'm hoping to see him cook up for Ascent.
Alrighty, and off we go to Ascent. It'll be interesting to see what kind of agency. Yep, we already got Sock with the Neon.
And it looks like they're pulling out a Veto. They're hovering Veto right now on depth. Interesting. We have seen a few games on Veto recently on our FLV games, but looks like Adept is not hovering Veto anymore. But the other team on it's Doug have a
Yep,
very
Doug is
pretty.
attacking first.
Yep. Doug is attacking. I think Doug have a very interesting comp though, considering they have a Waylay and a Yoru. Actually, raining. They're all hovering right now, but no one is confirmed locked in. Except that is going to be going on Veto today, and Sock is locking in Neon.
Yeah, looking like both teams running pretty common agents that we see on Ascent in Sova and Omen. And looks like SSD are gonna be going for a double Sentinel comp here, which is gonna be interesting to see how they use Veto in that secondary Sentinel role. Obviously, Cypher is gonna be a lot better at holding down map control, so Dep is gonna be, let off the leash, I guess you could say, a lot more free to try unique plays and unique site setups, and that's gonna make for some interesting rounds, especially they are starting on the defense half.
Yes, even with that, I'm looking at the Waylay Yoru comp that Doug is playing. I'm really hoping to see a lot of synergy from those two.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
I know you're a big DRG fan, so we already have
yeah,
high expectations
yeah,
coming here from Gongi.
yeah. I'm a big fan of DRX's comp of Waylay Yoru. Always counting on every time. But I'm hoping that Doug can step it up with the Waylay Yoru comp there.
Yeah, I do think it is going to be hard. I'm not sure how good the chemistry is between Doug and Nate, but it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to play off that Waylay entry and get the intel, get the opening picks. It's looking like we're already seeing a 5-stack A bomb site. But unbeknownst to them, they're running right into a 3-stack site here with Sock, Dep, and DK. Or not DK, and Jules.
Yeah, looks like there's going to be a five-man walk up into a main, but looks like Vito does have an interceptor up on there, and Sova will get spotted, and Sova's out by Nate on Doug's side. But looks like there is a lot of players close to site, and even Sock is going in onto site, and they are going to fight right in, and Sock is going to get the pick on to Itachi. Now all of the teams going in, and now it's a 4v1 against Bobby Sauce. Bobby Sauce is going to be fighting against most of everyone here, and Sock will be playing around with the movement yet again, and tonight.
And it's just absolute humiliation from SSD and Sock. Doug on that attack round didn't have a lot of map control, didn't work the map well, so did not force those rotates off of the A bomb site. Nate does get the opening pick, but after that, no one's able to get any kills, and they just run into an absolute slaughterfest on a site. Sock holding it down, getting 2 picks on the entry, and from there, SSD easily close up the round.
And it looks like they're going to do a B split this time from Doug, and only our Vice is going to be going on to B main. Most of our teammates are going to be on mid, and Sock does get a few, but that gets tried out
Trap
by
destroyed.
our DK, and Deb is going to slowly
Last
peek out,
player
and DK
standing.
does not get the pick there. Let is on the lurk. He does it's called the cyber trip. Looks like SSD is
No
going to
more for
suspect that they're
posers.
looking up from main, and Julie's does get the kill. Very
Obviously,
good.
that is an anticipated round result on the force buy, but I'm just not seeing a lot of really, Doug isn't really working the map well. They're not playing patiently. They're giving up opening picks, and they're, by the end of the round, half their team's dead, and they're kind of forced into a small funnel, and SSD taking advantage of that really well. Obviously, great individual plays so far. That round was from Depp holding down mid with that Guardian.
Yeah, looks like Doug are going on another B main slow walk up. But this time, all are going to be made this time. And they only decide to throw a piece smoke into there and
There.
start spamming. But
Yep.
Doug looks like they're going to go in now, but it does not. They are slowly starting to build up to the suspense, and they are starting to go in. But Sock does get the pick on DK, and Bobby Sox gets the trade. Casual does get
Down
another
B.
pick there.
Shocked one.
Now into a 4v2 situation
Go, go, go.
for SSD here. In a massive advantage here, even though it is their bonus round.
Obviously, they had the weapons advantage, but immediately after their execute, giving up guns, giving up man advantage, and SSD able to capitalize on that. And that's just really unfortunate if you're on the side of Doug. You need to win that bonus round if you're going to try to stop or at least slow down the momentum from SSD, maybe build some econ, and avoid SSD just getting guns, building that economy. And right now it's 3-0. It's an uphill battle already right off the bat for Doug. And they're forced to go straight to a save round.
And this looks like this game, Depp is going to be popping off once again. He's going 6-0 currently. And it looks like they're going to be it looks like Doug is going to be on a default this round. Slowly walking up B main, and some of them are holding on to the A main space. So it looks like Nate is going to be able to catch a timing onto Market, and it looks like they are going to get a Bucky kill. Oh, Nate gets another!
Gotta go.
And Sock does get the trade, but it is still a 4v3 for Doug here. But Sock gets another, and it's a 3v3 situation. Both are very close, intact. Sock does have an ult here. He could capitalize off of this.
And Doug opts to regroup. They pull away from B main, regroup over on the A side.
Scanning ahead.
They do start the round off with a 2-man advantage, but already we're seeing them giving up those advantages. Didn't get the chance to upgrade any of that weaponry off the picks from Nate.
Spike planted.
And so they're left in a pretty tricky situation. They do get the plant down. They're going to try to get some control of the bomb site here.
Scanning ahead.
Looks like
Try
most
to
of them are
defend
going to,
against this SSD flood.
Watch out. I'm out.
they are going to be stuck near generator, but DK is going to get spammed out. But now
One
2
enemy
in
remaining.
gen. Now it's going to be close. And Sock gets 4.
Go, go, go.
Great shots from them, and a great retake. Not losing a single person there on a
Almost down.
3v3 retake.
SSD able to exploit their better weaponry. It was a great coordinated effort, pushing out from heaven as Sock swings out from tree, and Sog is able to get 2 free kills on the 2 players playing generator.
Looking at the ult pick on here.
It was looking a
Uh,
bit shaky in the mid round after Nate gets those 2 picks, but they were able to recover great after Sock, I believe, gets 2 picks in mid. And even after Doug regrouped, they're still not really able to get any value off that bomb site. Don't really take a lot of space, and they just get stuck behind generator. And at that point, the round was over.
Yes, and looks like they are going to be on another passive play this round. Most of the people players in A main playing slow, but Nate does get the pick onto Tree on Sock. Depp is
So now
doing
they're gonna
oh,
take advantage of that, try to aggress mid. But do they suspect Depp sitting in the smoke? They do. They clear him out with the Yoru clone.
looks like they're going to slowly take some space onto top mid here, but Nate does get a slow walk up. Will he catch a timing onto a dragon? Yes, he will. Now Nate is going to going to push up onto market. Now it looks like B is pretty free here for the team. Most of SSD is stuck onto their spawn.
They do have control of mid all the way up until Pizza, but they did leave the spike in spawn, so they're not able to take advantage of this map control and their numbers. They're gonna have to wait for Bobby to go get that spike and then regroup.
Snare destroyed.
Looks like they're gonna use all that noise on the B side and try to go for an A hit here.
Got 3.
And Nate
But
with a
Nate
big
got
pick.
Enemy
Three.
remaining.
On for the ace. Ah, Lettuce steals it though. Big round from Nate. He just slices through that mid like a warm knife in butter. Able to take advantage of those off angles, that aggression. SSD was not expecting it, and he's able to get 4. Opens up a lot of space for his team. And, you know, they don't throw that man advantage. So, excellent round played out by Doug. I'm pretty sure it was a flawless round too, so they don't lose any guns, and that's huge. They needed to win that round if they were going to try to slow down the momentum from SSD and have a chance at catching up in this second half. Or in this first half.
Looks like they have learned from their mistake here and decide not to leave spike on spawn. Leave it a little close to A main, but still somewhat near spawn. Doug are going to slowly walk up onto B main, but Dragon holding that with a Odin.
Tagged.
Now Julie is starting to slowly take space of bottom mid, and now Omen is going to smoke that off. Mid is a very contested spot right now. Looks like B main is too, but A main, almost all of A is completely clear.
Does Nate expect Sock on this close angle? He does. He clears him out, but is unable to get the kill. And Sock uses that fast lane to get out and outplay numbers. It's going to be interesting to see how Doug try to, you know, recover from them. They're man down now. They haven't really worked any part of the map. They are just sitting in mid.
Going out.
Looks like they're going to regroup.
So it's looking like their Doug is not going to be
30
looking
seconds
at
left.
too much of their mosquito comp outplays. Usually in this Waylay Euro comp, they play like a mosquito and try to take a little space, act like little drones and take space, and then clear them out slow. But right now they look like they are going to push up onto A, but do
10
they
seconds
expect
left.
Sock onto the A main?
Spike planted.
Slowly pushing up and Sock with the win.
They know where he's at now.
Player standing.
They know exactly where he's at. Sock does get a lucky spray through the smoke. Nearly gets one more, but they know where he's at. 3v1.
There we go.
Does invest the ult,
Does
but DK is able to finish him off with a 3K of his own, securing Doug their second round.
So it looks like now on Doug's side, they have 4 ults. Three very strong ults. Open ult could be a good turning point, but those 3 ults could be a game changer for them. And
Yeah.
it looks like on SSD side, they do only have Vito's ult.
And just off those 2 rounds alone, they are able to stabilize their economy. They can lose this round and still have a good full buy. But after that second loss, it's looking like SSD's on a save round on their own. You know, trying to get out a little half by ear. Just have Sock on the Vandal.
It's like Nate
And
is
they're
going to be
gonna go.
ulting onto B site, but does get blinded by his own teammate. And then Sock decides to stun main, and Sock does get the pick onto the Yor, pushing up. Itachi does
You
get
can
picked-
already
gets picked
see
up.
all of the SSD players on the site. We do have Depp holding the rotate, but he's
But he
shot out.
cannot pick out.
Down to the 4v4. We're seeing some fast rotates here off that pick. But we already have Jules and Sock on the A-bomb site. Quick rotates on the defensive side on Haven. Looks like Nate's might be able to get a timing here on 2 players through Garden.
So
The
Jules
Dog are just gonna
is
cut
trying to
noise.
figure him out.
Doug are just going to cut noise, wait for SSD to make a move. And Nate
Julius
wasn't
does
watching his
get the
back,
pick on
and
Nate.
Jules able to get the pick, upgrade the weaponry.
And Suck does get a pick onto DK, but gets traded out
30
immediately by
seconds
Valorant Sauce.
It's looking like it's going to
Valorant.
end B here. Trying to aggress through mid. Just down.
One enemy remaining.
Just down Bobby and Lettuce. As I say that, Draken with the pick on Lettuce. It's looking hard here. Low on time. Bobby could get the
10
pick here on the
seconds
unsuspecting Cypher. But Casual Crazy
Gun here.
is able to get the right click on Bobby Sauce to secure their 5th round. That's a
Like,
great recovery from SSD. They do lose 2 rounds. They are forced on the eco on the half buy, but Sock with that hero rifle.
Hopefully we can see even more out of Sock and even more of the mosquito comp that I mentioned about from Doug here. They do look like they are going to push up on A main this round, but Sova does get left on B.
As I said, great recovery economically from SSD. Able to take advantage of that hero rifle from Sock, get picks, upgrade the weaponry. We have another full buy rounds
Deploying
between
drone.
both teams.
Looks like it is going to be a big battle onto A here. There's going to be a 3v4 fight. Actually, and now Sova grouping up, and it's going to be a 5v3 fight. There's going to be an ult. Oh my gosh, there's absolute chaos here. And now they're slowly pushing up on main, and Nate does get most of the site and into back site. Dragon starts to clear him out, but Dragon cannot. But he does get the pick onto Nate. He does decide to fall back and kill the team though. And Sock does get the pick on Itachi.
A little bit of a miscommunication there from Doug. No one's watching Tree, and Sock's able to get a free kill. And he goes for 2 more before Jules is able to clean it up. And that's SSD with a successful retake of the A-bomb site.
Looks like SSD is coming right back from their 2 losses. Doesn't look like they're losing any momentum after this.
Yeah, looks like there was a bit of a miscommunication. No one was holding Tree. No, there's no doors broken or anything. I believe it was Doug that was trying to play dice and hold rafters, but Sock is able to swing out, get a free kill, and retreat. And the whole site hole just collapses from there on out. And that loss does put Doug on a half buy. Only 2 Phantoms.
Go, go,
You know, they
go.
could get some value out of those sheriffs, but they're gonna count on Lettuce and DK here to get some value.
And SSD does have 2 Sentinels, B2 and Cypher, so looks like their defense is going to be very strong compared to their attack. But Nate's starting to slowly push up. Their team doesn't look like they have the best econ here, but they do take most of it and start to contest even further. But Depp and Sock starting to fight into Tree, and Sock will he get cleared out? No, he will not. And Sock
One enemy remaining.
and Sock and Depp both with the duo, and it get kills on to almost all of Doug. And Sock
Oh, they're going for the knife. Absolute tomfoolery going on. They're already up 5 rounds. Now they're just trying to have a little bit of fun. And it's just a slaughter fest in mid. Taking advantage yet again of that heavier weaponry. And they're just able to overwhelm. They're just able to overwhelm Doug on that mid push.
Looks like SSD's synergy is looking amazing here. They're playing a bunch of crossfires and having lots of team play more into their games rather than their individual plays. Even though Stock is going currently 19 and 4.
Then we get a
Sock
perfect
will
example of that just now. Nate gets a pick, but he's instantly traded by Depp, who was playing with him. Just another example of that great teamwork that you just mentioned. And it's down to the 3v3.
Retrieving flash.
It's looking like Lettuce, along with his team in Doug, are just going to slow down here, cut noise, maybe wait for some sort of action from SSD. They are stacked on the A bomb site with Cypher watching mid. And it's looking like Doug are going to venture in here. Does spot out the Cypher cam. Knows it's here. Is able to get in the blind spot. Does get past the Cypher cam. They don't expect this here.
Down.
Gets the
And Lettuce,
pick. And they know it's going to be a free B bomb site. Lettuce calls for his teammates. They're going to take control. Closes market door.
Watch 'em.
And it's going to be a 2v3
30
retake.
seconds left.
and it looks like Depp has taken some damage from the earlier fight onto mid, so it's going to be a very interesting retake here. They don't have much util to clear this out either, so it looks like a very strong sight hold from Doug.
They
Doesn't
do know
look
once
like there won't
market
be-
does get spotted out by the Sova drone.
But the dark does get broken from Doug. Depp slowly pushing into lane, but he does get the pick onto Lettuce, but he takes some heavy damage.
Last
He will
player
start to
standing.
push up, and he will get traded out from Bobby. Bobby having a great performance there on the site hold.
That was great mid-rounding from Doug. They were able to take advantage of those trades. You know, it did go both teams' ways on the 3v3, but the lower players, you know, force SSD to have less map control, and they just slow down. They wait, they slowly push into the B bomb site, and Lettuce able to get that timing on to Casual Craze, and that just opens up the B bomb site and allows them to take advantage of that 3v2 and hold the bomb site.
It looks like SSD does have amazing comms here, though. They keep constantly playing off each other, their peaks, and their constant clearing. I feel like even though they are on defense, they take a bigger attacking approach, even though they are on defense. Now, the Vice ult will pick off some on B, but none will get caught. They
Taking
does
aggressive
market
angle
and does get
here.
one. But Sock does clear them out, and into 4v3 retake for SSD. The Omen blind will be used from the side. DK does get out. Sock, but will not be able to get the trade.
That's showing off that new
popping
agent
ult.
util.
And it's like a 3v2 now with the trades coming onto DK and Sock. And Depp starting to go for the fight, but Itachi going for the
Enemy
2.
remaining.
And he does get traded out. Now to 30 HP, looking for a clutch from Bobby Sauce and Casual. It's 1v1. I'm expecting that he wanted to go into the TP there. Bobby Sauce is starting to wrap around into the smoke, and it does get the pick on Casual. Bobby Sauce will get the pick, and it's looking at 7-4 from
Last
SSD.
round before the switch.
Absolute huge plays from Doug on that bomb site. Gets his only 2 kills of the game with a stinger, able to hold the site down from Dice, and that allows Bobby to clean it up, winning as 1v1 against Casual Crazy. And like you said, 7-4, not too bad considering the start that they had, losing the bonus round. If they're able to get one more this half, all of a sudden becomes 7-5. It's a lot more winnable than how they were looking at the start of the game. It is going to be... Oh, yeah, you go.
So Itachi does get the 2 picks early onto the round on last round, but now it looks like they're going to slowly push up. They taking most tree, and the Omen smokes do get traded out onto tree. The tree looking a little suspicious here, but Death does get his ult off and onto the fight. He has embraced the Yorkloon that there is going to be a fight onto a main and tree here, but Itachi does get to pick onto Death. And Sock looking like he's going to pick off from Cubby, but he does get picked off from Bobby. Now it's a 4v3, now it's 3v3, and Dragon going to fight, and DK does get him out, and DK gets another. Now it's like a 1v3 retake from SSD. Casuals here.
Sock was their win con of that round, but he does not expect 2 in tree. Tries to go for the aggressive play, but ends up dying out to Bobby. DK does get 2 more picks, and it's looking like those 2 are going to secure the round here.
Yes, it looks like Doug is trying to play a little off-site, onto site
Where
here.
they're playing very passively. And I think it'd be a miracle if Casual manages to win the round, but he's shot out by Itachi.
So it looks like 7-5 for
Switching
SSD here
sides.
and 5-7 for Doug. Doug is looks like they're going to be going on a big comeback. They hopefully we get to see a lot out of them from their defense side, and it's going to be interesting to be seeing the Sentinel fight from the attack side on SSD here.
Pretty much that whole half, we just saw Doug working the mid, taking mid control as best they can, trying to trade out picks, and they were able to really utilize that to pivot to whichever bomb site kind of gave up more space. They didn't really focus that much on the extremities, barely did any main pushes, and we did see that work out for them in the mid round as they were able to get some timings.
Looks like they're on SSD. They're going to be a big, heavy fight onto mid. All 5 flooding into mid, and DK is trying to strike to and recon them out, but is not. Saki is going to start to fight
Go, go, go.
into Cubby here. It's clearing out most of Cubby and is going into the tree, but they do get shot at and slowing down for them for a bit and do get smoked off. But it looks like they might be going for a push here. They do get a pick onto top mid.
Spike down
And
mid.
definitely looks like they're going to push up into the mid here. Do they
They know
expect him
that
on pizza?
They know that pick is going to open up space, so immediately calls for the team to go through mid. They don't expect another lettuce. Gets one, but he's traded out by Sock, and that's going to be a free bomb site. Itachi tries to go for the aggressive pick, but Draken's able to hold that down.
One enemy remaining.
So Draken does get a nice pick onto a DK. Now it's a 1v3 fight, but Nate does get the pick. It looks like it's looking pretty good for him here. They could be able to get a nice clutch from here, considering that both the teammates on SSD are low. Now he's gonna push up time running out and trying to clear out most of them, but will not be able to. Sock getting the pick on from Frenzy onto Nate here. Looks like they're gonna start with a 5 lead.
SSD play that round very disciplined, get the pick, open up the space, and just absolutely overwhelm Lettuce on that bomb site. And as you see in that last 1v2 at the end of the round, playing very disciplined, not giving up any 1v1s. Sock's able to swing off contact from Depp, and the round gets closed out. We're 8-5.
Now
It's going to be interesting to see how Doug try to swing the momentum back in their favor. We see an aggressive play early on here from Nate. Gets the pick!
a nice share shot for them. So it looks like now there's DK is starting to close out on mid. Looks like they do figure out that everyone is on A side because they cleared out mid and all of B.
Back in a
So they are anticipating this here. Nate is trying to fight on here.
Out.
But he does get the second nice pick here.
Down A.
He does get traded out by Depp. But Depp also gets traded out by DK. But Itachi getting the picks. And onto the fight. And a nice
That's a
eco.
huge round from Nate. SSD did have the weapons advantage, but right off the bat, Nate going for an aggressive play puts the round in their favor with that early pick and gets another on the execute before he's traded out. With that here, he was the only one who bought that round, buying just a sheriff. Everyone else with classics, and they were able to trade off that aggression from Depp that we saw on Switch. Depp was only able to get one pick, very low value after spending all of his money on that Vandal. And already that is a huge victory if you're Doug. You're able to get that round, obviously, but then trying to switch the momentum in your favor.
So DK is going for another drone onto mid here, but he will not be able to clear out the Omen into the green box. Looks like
Needs to get that Vise wall. Does bait it out, baiting out the util, even more util from Lettuce.
Looks like not much of a reaction from the side of Doug here. They're still playing passively onto their A sides and B sides.
Yeah, they know no one entered off of that wall, so they know that's just fake aggression. It's looking like they're going to try to work the A bomb site, but they do know now that they have that Vise wall down that the B pivot's always an option. But it's looking like they're going to go through mid here. And Doug staying very disciplined, not over-rotating. DK with the opening pick of the round.
This looks like they're going to start to push in, but Nate does get the pick. He will not be able to get the second, and he does get cleared up, but he does get the flat and the Nate.
Oh my word. I have no idea how he survived that. He has his refract out in the wide open, but Sock, just with a frenzy, is not able to get the kill. And he does get, sort of a collat. They line up for him, and then he's able to get the fourth, close out the round with the Vandal. And I love how disciplined Doug played that round. They're not scared of any noise over B main. They know that they just need to play their game. They're able to hold down the control. They know they have the stronger weapons, so it's just a matter of getting those opening picks and taking advantage.
Looks like Depp, Sock, and Nate here looking like the strongest in the game currently. But the other teammates doing very great support from them. Sock and Nate are the strongest right now from their own respective teams. They are the main duelists that are trying to entry and fight. That is going to start to push up onto mid and onto B here. And 3 all the way push. And will they expect Depp? No, they will not. And Depp will start to push in, and they will take most of B. But wow, Sock does get traded out. The market door does get broken, and Nate and Tachi both with the pace.
Oh,
tracking.
Draken. And that is a huge response from Doug. They do lose the first blood, but they are able to get instant equalizing picks. We have Doug on the spray into switch, and I believe Nate with a pick on the A extremities. And we see Doug there closing out the round with a 3K on Draken, who unfortunately had a bit of an embarrassing whiff mid. And he was just left stranded in B main, and they know exactly where he's at.
Looks like Itachi doing amazing here from his compared to his last half. He's doing amazing compared to his 0 kill performance, but now he's doing amazing. But both teams looking very strong this game, with Doug making a big comeback from their 0-5 down. But both teams looking very strong right now.
I believe it was 0-4, but they were down 7-2 at one point, so still very impressive. Nate tries to get the op shot, but unable. Doesn't matter though, it's still 5v5. They do have the stronger weaponry. They hear, Bobby hears all this aggression, and all of a sudden it's a 4v3.
Looks like the attackers are going to slowly, going to fast push up onto mid here. They're going to start to go into the spawn. Casual doesn't get the pick. There was a massive fight onto mid there, and Itachi does spot the Cypher, but will not be able to get the pick.
Even though Nate did have an op, even though Nate did have the op, was unable to get any value of it, and he just got overwhelmed. But it's looking like Doug is going to be able to recollect this op, hopefully by the end of the round, get at least some value out of it.
Now it's a 2v3, very important round for both teams here. Whoever loses this round is going to have a big eco loss.
SSD knows that they have no info, no control over the A side of the map, so they're kind of being funneled into this market B push. But Sock's going to try to take advantage.
And he does get one, and he's going to push up into Lettuce. He does get the pick on Lettuce, but he does get traded out. Now 1v1 from DK and Casual.
We've already seen this before. Actually, no, we have not seen this before, but we have seen it from Casual Craze. Wasn't a 1v1 previous round post-plant. Is he going to be able to secure this round and redeem himself? Does have the cam for info. So he's just going to be playing passively. Does get recon darted out. Is unable to break it.
DK
misses the
not
dart.
get hit by the dart.
DK knows exactly where he's at. Playing very patiently. Very disciplined. And DK with the pick on Casual Craze. And that was very, very scary if you're on the side of Doug. Sock, obviously, with that huge aggressive play to wrap around CT. Does get 2 with the ult, but DK with a huge trade is able to secure the round for his team with that pick on Casual Crazy.
Now, Doug, looks like they're going to take the lead here 9-8. Their comeback from this is looking very strong. And it looks like both teams are pretty equal in the eco, but Doug, with their win from last round, they will get a little more. But it looks like both going to be a gun buy round from them. There is Veto ult and Omen ult online for SSD.
If you're
Looks like they're going to be
SSD,
in a ult pump.
you need to win this round if you want to have a chance.
No more
A
secrets.
loss here would put them down 8 to 10.
Revealing area.
Sorry, and on an eco, which after most likely Doug would convert that. That would mean it's 8 to 11, which is a very hard spot to work back from.
But an amazing ult from DK here. But most of the teammates on Doug's side does get traded out. Now Sock does get most of the picks, and Depp will be using his ult. Now it's a 2v3 retake for Doug. Let's see how it's gonna play out. Looks
We
like
do
DK's
see that new
Vito's gonna
veto
get
util
now.
being utilized, breaking the drone.
Last player standing.
And Dev will get the pick onto DK. It's 1v3 retake for Lettuce. He's stuck onto Heaven. Does get blind. Will not be able to get traded. And Sock does get the pick, gunning onto Heaven. Now to 9-9, both on its high. Looks like both are looking at pretty decent ecos from them. And their ult economy is very decently even. It's a very tight match from both teams.
But in terms of ult economy, you do see a lot more ult orbs and ults up for the side of Doug. They do have Waylay and your ult, so they are going to be able to delay some pushes with that Waylay and hopefully have some pretty strong retakes with that your ult.
So
They
looks like
were
they're-
able to... Oh, yeah. Sorry.
SSD are going to slowly push up onto B here. There's going to be 2 people waiting for them onto the site. Looks like they're going to be ready for a push. Death is going to be taking the lead. With Sock right behind him, getting ready for the push.
Doug's
Itachi
very
does
slow,
get
waiting for that.
spot him out. But now Sock does get blinded by your util. But Deb does get a 2 from the spam. But he will get traded out by Bobby. It's a 4v3 for the SSD here. Looking very
Sock is
strong.
very low, though. Does take a lot of
Spike
damage from the
planted.
thorns. And I believe he got a couple bullets from being sprayed. So it's still very possible for Doug on this retake.
And now the Omen ult being used to take the space onto mid. But Nate does get the pick. Now the 2v3 retake, considering that Omen is going to be slow walking up market. Now Nate does get the last pick.
One
And
enemy
Nate does
remaining.
not clear Sock out. Sock does get the pick. But he will get traded out. Now DK doing an amazing job there. They're both teams doing amazing. But in the end, Doug will be the ones on top. And now they're going to go take another lead, 10-9.
After the dust settles on that initial site execute from SSD, it was a 4v3, but Doug ended up only losing 1 player on that retake. Very well coordinated. Obviously, great individual talent. I believe it was, DK getting picks, Bobby Sauce getting picks, Nate getting picks. So everyone was really put in a good effort there on the retake, played well as a team, and they were able to just overwhelm the site hold on the side of SSD, and that puts them at 10 rounds.
And they even managed to do that without the use of any ults here. So now there's going to be a Whaley and a Yoru ult still online for them. And another Omen ult to be up. Lettuce is going to push up with the B main. He will get 1, but will get traded out by Draken. Draken does take a little bit of damage here on B main. Looks like they won't be pushing up considering the amount of space that the Lettuce has been taking on B main.
But look here,
Bobby Sauce managed to
Nate,
get spam.
Nate taking so much space mid here. I don't think they're going to expect this timing, and Nate does take
Spike
advantage
down mid.
of that timing. Gets a pick on Draken. Knows there's one more here. Excellent coordination with the blind from Bobby.
One enemy remaining.
And he gets
3.
And he get 1 more. Believe does spot out the legs. They know where he's at. But they're going to be playing very disciplined here. Not giving up any 1v1s. They do have Spike. And yet again, casual. Crazy left. All alone. Asked to do the impossible. Can he get it done?
No, it's like Casual and Nate are going to be on a nice fight here. Casual looking to get a
He doesn't expect the wrap from Nate. And Nate with yet another 4K.
now on a even stronger lead from Doug. Now it's going to be 11-9. Even though
played an
SSD
absolute-
strong lead.
Nate played an absolute pivotal role in winning his team that round. Obviously, we did see Lettuce with that early aggression gets the pick, kind of spoils the B-side aggression play, and Nate off that noise, able to take advantage of it, pushes out all the way to catwalk, and is able to get 2 off that aggression. We did see an excellent Omen blind coming from market, and you could see that instant response in the trip deep A main coming from Casual Crazy. So trying to take that map control, avoiding push outs like that.
Looks like SSD is going to slowly, he's going to take a fight onto B main here. Now it's a 5-man push onto B main, but there's going to be a bunch of YouTube being spammed here. Draken is already on site, along with all 4 people. Besides it, there's 1 in main. Sock doesn't get the stinger pick onto DK. Nate with the slow push, but he will find this trip. Itachi will get a pick onto Dragon. Now it's a 4v3 fight from SSD. Now SSD is going to take a very massive lead here, considering that the Yoru Itachi from Doug's side is a little low. He will break the intercept, but Itachi going to get pushing up onto market. Sock does get the pick on Nate, and Dead gets a pick onto Lettuce. So now it's a 1v4 retake for Itachi, but will get traded out. Sock with a nice 3K there, bringing them even closer to the tie up from now 10 to 11.
That was an absolute necessary round for SSD to win. If they lose that round, they don't have the economy to invest in for rifles. And also that would put Doug on map point, which would just be a very deep hole to dig yourself out of. But all of a sudden, momentum shifts. Both teams able to afford a full buy rounds. Let's see if Doug is able to push this one over the line.
And the big thing is, there's only a solo sentinel for Doug here, so they're going to be taking space onto A. I think SSD have realized that A is always going to be taken by Vice, and there's going to be some very weak holds onto B. Right now, DK does look like he's going to be trying to get some pick with Yuto. Now, he is holding an Odin. He will try to drone out on main. Now, most of DK's Yuto is currently gone. Now, almost all of the Yuto are being pushed out from Sock here, and Sock does get the ankle breaker, but Itachi does get the pick, but Draken also trades him out. Now it's a 4v3, another 4v3 for SSD. Looks like a very hard retake for Doug, but dude, they do have 3 different ults they could use. It's very strong, a very available and strong ult with Waylay, and he will pop it. Now
Those one could be a main.
Last player standing.
Now Deb will get the pick onto them, but now looks like an almost impossible 1v3 retake for Nate. Does get the pick in a 1v2 situation, both on back site. Time is running out. And it looks like there won't be enough time, but he does try to push up, and does get the 4.
Is he gonna have it? Oh no, he barely doesn't have enough time. Excellent effort from Nate though. Gets the 4K. Yet another one that's unable to secure that round, but it was an excellent individual effort. He just waited barely too long to make that move, but we did see some great aggression, great site execute on the side of SSD. They were able to, spot out that Sova playing on site with that Sova dart as he was stuck in his drone, couldn't shoot it. And they do get another pick on that entry, and yet another 4v3, but this time Doug unable to convert it.
But Nate, this time he looks like he's going to be going for a fight here, but he does back off. Now this time the SSD are looking to push up on A this time. They're starting to attack from their fight last from their B side. Now they almost have all of the site free.
After that lost round, Doug are forced onto the half buy here. They don't want to allow Doug or SSD to get to that map point. As I say that, Draken and Depp getting the first 2 opening picks is down to the 3v5. Weaker weaponry.
Considering Depp and the Omen are both considerably low, this could be a viable retake from them. but considering that Dep, Sock, and the Sova have their ults here, it's going to be very hard. Dragon's starting to go for the spam. He's actually looking to push up onto the main. But Sock will get started to spam out Bobby. But Itachi does get the pick. 2v4 retake looks almost impossible from them. Lettuce on the defuse, but will get off. Sock does get the kill onto Lettuce. Now 12 to 11, coming back from their slow lead. But now looks very strong from them. Match point for.
And you would expect a team such as SSD to be able to convert those eco rounds, and they do. And that brings up to map point. And even though a couple of them did half buy, all of Doug are still able to afford a full buy here. And they have to do all they can to try to bring this one to overtime. Still a great fought game, bringing it back down from 7-2. So even if they lose this game, they can go home being proud of themselves, getting 11 points for their team. But obviously, you always want to go for that win. So
Looks like both teams.
I'll handle this. Here.
using the Yoru spotting 3, spotting 4 on the bomb side. They know it's a full commit on B. Itachi's gonna get a sort of weird positioning here in A main. I'm not sure if they're gonna expect this here. Down to yet another 4v3 retake. Gonna be using lighting a Sova ult as well. Unable to hit the veto. And Dep absolutely abusing the new agent. Nate does get the kill on Dep, but is instantly traded by Sock. And that's it. Game over. SSD take it 13-11.
Man, that shit's just toxic.
That was an excellent game from SSD. They were able to bounce back from that rocky start to their second half, able to maintain their lead. Their slight advantage coming into the second half converts the last 4 rounds of the game, bringing it from 11. What was it? Bringing it from, I can't do math. 1, 2, 11 and 8, I believe. Yeah, 11 to 8, all the way back to 13-11. What were your thoughts on SSD's performance today, Gangi? Oh, I guess my casting buddies is no longer here. Me personally, I thought it was a very entertaining game to watch. A lot of flashy plays, big plays coming from Sock. Drops yet another 30 bomb, 36 and 14. ACS of 384. Nate not too far behind. Goes 28 and 20. Other 339 ACS.
Hello.
But I just want to point out something a little surprising here, though. Dep does end up with 6 first bloods, even though Dep was playing a Sentinel, is able to get a lot of opening picks to help out his team.
Y'all want to try to get an interview in here or no?
I'm down. Let's do Dep.
Yep, all right. Oh, he's left.
No, we could probably get Dep in here.
Nope. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm back.
Oh, Dep's in the wrong chat. Hello, Dep.
Oh shoot, I joined the wrong stream. My bad, Flynn.
Yeah,
What's
you
up,
did.
guys?
Just want to preface this by saying, excellent game. I know you were coming off from, you had to get subbed out last week. So, how is that affecting how you're going to play this week? Your mental, your preparedness. How are you feeling coming into this game today?
Yeah, I mean, we show up, we play our game. It was a little scary. I mean, at the end there, we probably shouldn't have cut it that close, but I'm glad that we were able to get the win, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah. How you feeling? Excellent performance from you as well as Sock. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what the comms are like in your team chat. Who's kind of the one mainly leading, but I'm assuming you're happy with how your team performed today.
Yeah, I mean, we do kind of a joint style of me and Sock kind of we bounce ideas off each other, and whatever sounds good to the team, that's usually what we like. That's kind of what we execute. But um, some things weren't working on attack, so we made an adjustment and we got out with the win. So
Yeah, I
I'm
can
pretty
see that.
happy.
Sorry. Um, did start the second half. Um, did start the second half 7-5 and won the pistol round, but then you gave up that bonus round and they were able to kind of get away with the lead. I believe they went up 11-8. So, what how is it like when you were losing those rounds and being able to keep the mental up and take those rounds back and stay in the fight?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our guys we've been in FLV for a while, and I feel like we kind of we know it's never too late to come back. It's never you can always come back. It's never you're never out of the game until that score hits 13. So I
And also,
mean,
you can always get one more round too, right? With the point
yeah,
system, you can always get one
yeah,
more round.
exactly, yeah. So we were just kind of fighting for rounds. Eventually, it just snowballed to a victory. But I mean, we made the right adjustments, so it went pretty well.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the other team, Doug? How they played.
Yeah,
Any
I mean,
comments?
Nate is really good. I think that is Doug. I think Nate is Doug, but Nate is really really good.
I
His
believe I believe
duelist.
Itachi's Doug, but
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, my bad.
all
But
good.
Nate is really really good. I think he's one of the better duelist players I've seen play. His waylay is it creates a lot of space. But yeah, the Doug team was really good.
Yeah, I believe I've I casted both your guys' games in week one, and I'm pretty sure, Nate obviously today he was a bit of a 4K merchant, and I don't think he got I think he got a lot of 4Ks, but no aces last week too. So impressive that you guys were able to work around that. Obviously he won his team a lot of rounds. But I just want to say, really impressive with how you guys, structured your attack half. I thought you guys really um you know, took advantage of those early picks. Obviously, I don't know if you noticed, but you actually had 6 first bloods, which is kind of interesting.
Oh,
You're playing a sentinel role, not really seen as aggressive, but maybe
yeah,
that new agent.
I think Vito he allows a lot more opportunity to go in with his teleport. I was making it's really fun to use that like with all the chaos of the neon wall. Um and then just throwing the orb that shoots all the util. It's really good for taking a site because they can't throw a Sova dart on the back wall or anything like that. So I think this character is really unique when it comes to being a sentinel. So I'm really excited to play them in the future.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out another thing about kind of your how you guys both go about attack rounds. I don't know if you noticed, but um, excuse me. With Doug, they played kind of a more slow play style. They worked a lot through mid, but something that I noticed with you guys, and it was the exact same thing on Haven from last week, is you kind of just pick a site and you just use sock and all that he brings to the table, and you kind of just
Yeah.
5-man rush a site and hope it works out. And I mean, usually it ends up going in your favor. We saw a lot of situations where you execute on that B bomb site and ended up with a 4v3 somehow.
Yeah, we're pretty confident, I think. I mean, when you have a guy like Sock on your team, like you really kind of just need to streamline the game plan and get him involved as much as you can. So that's what we tried to do today.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are a really interesting team to watch. If I had to make a comparison, I would probably say that the PRX of FLV, just in your aggressive
Whoa.
play style and also your throwing ability. So um
Okay.
no, yeah, it was really fun to watch. Super excited to see how you guys do in the weeks to come. So
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank
yeah,
you for
Thanks,
streaming
guys.
the
thanks
game too.
thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, so one more question as we wrap up this interview. Dep, so I noticed on that last round you popped your veto ult. You were immortal to all or pretty much every ult in the game. I noticed
Silver
you
bullets.
dodged that Sova ult. Was that just
Yeah.
a new character? You weren't ready for it? Just kind of
I kind of
inexpected?
forgot that. I mean, this is my first game on Vito, so I didn't really know what I was immune to in that ultimate. So I got a little scared at first, but once I realized I was safe, I just pushed out and killed the guy.
Top
Speaking of,
sock
what is
backpack, little
Cool,
bro.
cool.
speaking of, what is your opinion on the new agent?
I don't think it's a traditional Sentinel, but I think it definitely can fit in a double Sentinel setup. I think
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
it's really nice to have on attack. Really, really nice. I think the kit it's really fun, but it also is super useful just getting into sites, and that's exactly what our game plan was today. So he fit pretty well into the team comp.
Yeah, I did mention this in the pre-game in the agent select menu. How I feel like Vito, I don't know if you can attest to this, but I feel like he fits with his unique play style and his unique kit. He doesn't really fit into that primary sentinel role, such as like Cypher or Vise, for example. So I do think
Yeah,
it was really smart for you guys to implement a double sentinel comp, have casual on that primary sentinel role, and that just allowed you to, play, really bring out the full potential
yeah.
in Vito. It's interesting to see that. All right. Well, if no one else has any more questions, don't want to take up too much of your time. Probably need to get some beauty
I
sleep
got a
after that hard
Mariner
fought
game to go
victory.
watch. I gotta go watch my team. My baseball team's playing right now.
All right. Well,
All right.
Wait,
Dep,
they went to the 11th
to
inning?
tell the team that the production team over here at FLV says hello and wish them the best luck in the rest of the
Yeah,
season.
thank you so much. Thank you guys for streaming the game. I appreciate it.
All righty, folks. Those of you tuning in, thank you for watching and supporting the streams. I was Ziff, joined by my fellow caster Gongi. Special shout out to Squiddy for being our observer today. And of course, you know him, the one, the only Halo being our stream op today. So big thanks to everyone on the production team. And yeah, hope everyone has a good night. Thanks for watching.
You.